but apparently everybody with me in this neighborhood. I did experiencing a lot of electronic tampering, people disabling my camera, surveillance, the whole nine. I'm wanting to uh, call on anybody that belongs to this community who might live in the area, walk through my neighborhood to force to let people know that we are not going to stand by and be bullied and be harassed for simply and merely existing at the end of the day, and for calling them out on what they're doing, because what they're doing is wrong. Enough. Everybody has their limits. A bulk of the priest attacks I've been receiving as of late are due to a complaint with the DOJ regarding said racial discrimination. All has been overt, with a few direct acts of aggression from neighbors. To walk through my neighborhood, force that MAGA bullies won't be tolerated. I throw on and wound up. And fight truly for justice for all, not as a political act or stance. This should have to live this way for merely existing. That everyone doesn't like me, that's fine. Bear with me, guys. So with that being said, I recognize everyone may not be able to do that, but if you all could at least share these lives and make it go viral, please. Because I am not the only one experiencing what I'm experiencing. There are many of us in this country, in the world, that are experiencing these types of attacks. I'm not going to get into the specifics of why that is, but if you know, you know. I have been dealing with this for quite some time as I've been on my channel, and I'm still going through it. I've just been trying to refocus and reshift my mind. But the more I try to double down on focusing on me, the more attacks I get. Over 2 people try to run me off the roads this week alone. Playing chicken with me on the roads, almost trying to cause a head-on collision with me. If you all have had a chance to watch the IKEA video, it was me coming back from that I experienced those 2 near misses. The other instance was someone trying to merge over onto me, trying to push me out of my lane, and they would have ended up crashing into me, into my driver's side door, if I wouldn't have held on the horn and slowed down. None of this is coincidence. It is all intentional. There has been an increase of vehicles following me. They all have the same tell, and how I know. Again, not gonna divulge that right now. I'm hoping to detail that somewhere safer and later on. Like I said, this has been going on for a while. I've been doing my best to get myself back on track with my channel and focus back on more so the positive, inspirational side. But I keep being interrupted with gang stalking activity. For anybody who doesn't believe gang stalking is real, I tell you, it is. It is very real. Today's events were nothing necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? Malevolent. However, it's the frequency in which things have been happening. Literally Monday, as I'm at the library with my child, a man was actively tampering with my dash cams. I'm assuming trying to erase footage from some of the things I've been able to capture of them doing exactly what I detailed earlier. I am unafraid, unmoved. I'm not scared in that sense. I'm just frustrated. And I believe more people like myself who are dealing with what I'm dealing with are feeling exactly the same. This week, things have been a little more chaotic than usual. People are feeling even more emboldened to break the law. What makes stuff like this terrible for me is the fact that law enforcement literally lives in my development. And I believe that they're involved. More so because I filed a DOJ civil rights complaint in the last week, detailing some of the things I've been experiencing. And I don't believe it's coincidence that I've been receiving even more harassment, even more vehicle tampering, even more trespassing in my respective rental home. So I'm sending this out to fellow chosen, to fellow TIs, whatever we want to call ourselves, God's people, whatever. I don't even care what we call ourselves, but we really need to come together like now, because these people who are playing Satan's game and are his devil spawn really got things twisted, and they're really about to find out. Everyone I follow who belongs to this community has been saying similar sentiment this entire week. I can't recall the young man's channel whom I watched earlier this week, but he was in tears. That's how angry he was with some of the maltreatment he's been experiencing lately. And he too stated that he feels that it's an increase of it. And I respect that if it's an increase for them to turn up on evil, then that must mean it's going to be an increase real soon for us to be able to tap into our powers or abilities or spiritual enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. Because where one thing increases, another thing has to decrease. And they may be increasing right now. I don't believe it'll remain that way for much longer. But until that stuff starts to happen, however that's supposed to happen, we need to stand up for one another right now. I know that that is hard to do because we all in this community have trust issues for obvious good reasons, not knowing who to trust, who we can lean on, who we can talk to, who is or isn't involved. Because oftentimes this type of harassment is on a level that includes multiple random individuals with just are either being paid or incentivized to do what they're doing to you and to me. and our families. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that for me. I'm not okay with that for you. That's literally why I made my channel, was to make people aware of what is going on. I really, really want everyone to put aside whatever misgivings we have about each other, being skeptical of one another, because I'm guilty the same. I've seen some other fellow chosen TI, and I've thought, like, oh my God, like maybe they're not who they are, maybe, but I recognize now that that's just more tools and devices of the devil, trying to confuse us so that we don't see each other. But I know firsthand that we are linking up, we are syncing up on a spiritual level more and more every day. I've been finding that other individuals like myself have been saying some of the same similar sentiment. Now you tell me, how is that? I'm way over here and out here, and they're way over there and out there, but yet we're all thinking the same thing. We're all experiencing the same thing. We're all feeling the same things. So this can't be coincidence. This can't be a what's the word I'm looking for? This can't be by chance. I personally have been doing all that I can to occupy my time, occupy my hands, to keep myself busy. What that looks like for me, because I recognize that my lifestyle isn't everyone else's lifestyle. I get that, but it's getting harder and harder to be able to do my work, especially what I am trying to actively work on for my channel, when I'm constantly having to combat interference of the electric variety, as far as tampering with my phone. This makes what, like the probably fifth or sixth live I've tried to do tonight, as well as I think 11 shorts that I just released, because I was experiencing tampering, my connection being shut down and stuff like that. So I really wanted to get on here and detail exactly what transpired leading up to this evening. Like I said, nothing necessarily bad happened, with the exception I reacted to their shenanigans, and I lost my cool, and I can admit that. But I don't feel bad about it, not at all, because everything that I said needed to be said, and I definitely took it there. I'm not going to be able to repeat everything on here. I know that. But just know, if you find a video or videos that surface of me saying some things, yeah, that's me. Unless they done spliced it or diced it to fit their narrative about me. I said everything I said, and I meant everything that I said. And I stand 10 toes down on it. I will never back down, ever. And I will always be a woman of my word. And I will always stand firm on what I say. As I keep saying, I'm not afraid of anyone or anything. Me asking us to unify is because it needs to happen. That's the show of force that needs to be shown, is that we are going to continue to unify despite all of their hate, all of their harassment, all of their stalking, all of their monitoring. It's not stopping anything. Like I said, I done had 2 different people try to run me off the road this week. No lie. I lied to you not. But yet I'm still standing. I'm not shaken. I'm not moved. I'm not afraid. And I mean it when I say it. But I also recognize that nothing about what I'm experiencing is normal. Nothing about what you all are experiencing, if you find yourselves to be in the same boat as me, is normal. That with the current administration being in place, these people are really showing their ass, if I'm being completely honest. And as I stated, I recently learned that I guess I'm in MAGA area. of Yuma, which I had no idea. And how would I have known that? I'm new to the state 100%. So, and I'm guessing they don't want me and my family here because no one has been welcoming to us here. Um, for the most part, we stay to ourselves. We don't go our way to bother people. I know that much. But everyone seems, or not everyone, excuse me, some of these individuals seem to be bothered by anything that we do. My family and I just in our own home enjoying our own time or in our own backyard enjoying ourselves seemingly just stirs up a bunch of crap, which I don't understand. But that's here nor there. Um, Getting back to this evening, I said a lot of things. A lot of things that I said were true. Basically, vocalizing to them out loud in my driveway that I'm not afraid. That if they want to do the little tampering stuff that they're doing or trespassing, do it now. Do it while I'm out here. Don't wait till the dead of night to be sneaking and creeping in around my home where my children are, where I am alone, and my husband, like I said, is away. And but he'll be here tomorrow. He will be. But and then it's coming from other married individuals who live right next door to me on both sides, as well as other individuals on the behind my home, because there's a development being built actively behind my home, and I've experienced harassment from the construction workers there, being on top of rooftops in my yard, laying on the tops of the roofs, looking at me and my family, making monkey noises, so much since we've been here, and we still just okay, let it roll off our back, move along, and just kept it pushing. But of course, I speak my piece in the privacy of my home, especially with my husband, a lot of the time. And when I say what I say, like I said, I stand on it. I'm not going to shy away from it. A lot of the things I spoke tonight were more so on the racial side, recounting the history of of my ancestors and my people and what we've had to go through for over 400 years. And I am tired. And I feel that my ancestors are tired too, because at the end of the day, I feel like they're speaking through me. I really do. Um, and it's just, I had to let these people know, like, y'all been doing this forever. This stuff has not stopped. And it's like it's history trying to repeat itself all over again. I brought up Emmett Till and how that lady lied on him, and he didn't get to live his life, but she got to live hers and die in a good old age over lies and over foolishness. I mentioned Rosewood. I mentioned Tulsa. I mentioned Black Wall Street. I mentioned all the instances that I could think of where my people have been brutalized and massacred, and so many other things, assaulted, harassed, or whatever you want to call it, for merely just existing, being targeted for simply enjoying their lives and prospering. And I feel like this environment that we're in is just like those times that certain demographics of people are upset because things are not for themselves right now. So they're trying to do everything that they can do to trigger those of us that belong to this community. Because again, I recognize that it's deeper than race, but to make it make sense to the people who only understand that, I'm getting into the esoteric knowledge and stuff that I know, I'm just gonna keep it as black and white, because that's what everyone tends to, for the most part, can understand. But I know that it's deeper than that. So please don't misunderstand me. I am not basic. I know a lot about the history of these things. Okay. And I know that it's more than just color at the end of the day. I'm going to just put that like that. It's really hard because I know I have to censor myself and I can't 100% speak freely like I need to get this message across. But I'm going to do my best. These individuals, like I said, have been trespassing for quite some time into my backyard, leaving trash in my yard, like tampering with my plants that I just started trying to grow. I went out this afternoon and saw someone cut one of my tulips. Just yesterday, cutting zip tie I made from a little patio shade to just hold it and secure it in place a little better. What was it? Like I said, leaving trash on my planters, trying to run me off the road, tampering with my dash cams. Again, I know it all sounds crazy, but for the vast majority of it, I have proof. Okay. And I'm working on it. But where I am currently, I don't see a lot of people that look like me, if I'm being completely honest. And if I do, a lot of these people are in on this bullcrap too. Unfortunately, this stuff transcends race, and I know that, because it's not about race at the end of the day. It's about it's spirit. I said earlier, no one deserves to have their peace messed with this much for merely just trying to live in peace. I have not bothered my neighbors. I have not, outside of, my sons playing in our backyard and like playing badminton in the backyard and accidentally knocking like I forget what that thing is called, but the little ball thingy into their yard. And, again, if that was something that was an issue, could have been easily addressed, but nothing was ever intentional. I don't try to be a bad neighbor. I try to leave people alone and give people their space. That's me personally. But this afternoon, I went out when I was in the backyard, I noticed I have neighbors that keep like the way that their window is positioned on the house, that they can see into our backyard on both sides. So both neighbors on both sides of me can always see into my backyard, the way that the houses are built and are situated. See into there, which I wouldn't want to anyway. That's not I don't care about that. But I noticed that my son and I were in the backyard. I'm watering my plants. My son's just running around. He turned on the hose, start, spraying the plants and the little like weeds and stuff we have coming up in the backyard. And then all of a sudden, she starts spraying her hose up in the air and her dog's barking. And I'm like, okay, like, what's that supposed to mean? And then I hear a man, all right, what is going on right now? And mind you, we're in our backyard, running our business. Now, the day before, that's when I noticed some of the tampering that I'm telling you about. And I was in my backyard. I was reading, I just recently bought the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I've been reading that. I've also been practicing my tarot, because that is something I practice on occasion, not all the time. Sitting in front of my camera that's in my backyard, and is facing the window of one of the neighbors. Again, not by my design. That's just the way the house is built. And I was practicing my tarot. I'm fanning my cards. I, had my sage going in the back on my patio, minding my business. I'm smiling. I'm happy. I'm living life, not bothering nobody. And I started noticing as I'm in my yard, there's more trash in my yard. And I'm like, okay. And then that's when I started noticing other things in my yard that weren't how they were. And so as I get up eventually and I started walking around and I was agitated. So took the trash, flipped it right back over the fence because I'm like, yeah, that's not ours. 'Cause normally, with all the trash that I've collected from my yard that isn't ours and doesn't belong to us, I literally have a bag on my patio now that I just keep it there because I just know there's going to be trash. And this has been going on since we've been here. And that's getting close to be 6 months. And went off, it wasn't just, or if it was the wind or whatever. But after today, I know, no, it's being done intentionally. Some of the trash that's left in my or in my planters today was like wafer bar rocks, literally like left in one of my